and the incense don't bother you. Like, yeah. Okay, cool. We've got our props, phones on to the side. Bye-bye phones. All right, yogis. Props, blocks, all our toys. All our toys, we've got them with us. You might not need them, you might need them all, but that's the exploration. But we'll start in a seated position. I have also actually been running around cooking lasagna, and I don't know what it was like. Oh, so let's sit and find some stillness. Close our eyes. Take a deep breath in. And then a deep ah. You can even have some sound. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale into this moment. And exhale to let go of whatever this day has been. Last one. Inhale into this moment. Exhale into whatever the evening and the rest of this day will still give. And then sit still. And breathe. Just breathe. Notice if you can feel the energy in your body. So our central nervous system, to keep it simple, kind of has 2 modes. Parasympathetic and sympathetic. One is do, go, run, high intensity, fight, flight. And the other one is slowing down, grounding. And you can feel that, you know, our yin practice obviously really cultivates that rest and recovery. We're not going to be, you know, running around and bringing our heart rate up. Actually, the contrary, we're going to really slow things down, bring our heart rate down, bring our breath down, bring the activity in our brain and our mental reality down. But just kind of now, check in with yourself and feel where you're seated. Are you already, maybe you've had a quiet day and you're already entering this yin practice from a place of quiet and stillness, or maybe you've been running around and you can feel that in your system. You're like I need to just take a couple of moments to be comfortable with the stillness. The yin and the yang, the doing and the being, the masculine and the feminine. Both are energies that are important in our lives. If we're just in a state of being, then nothing will happen. We don't do things. But in general, our society is leaning more towards doing. Do, more. So these yin practices can compensate, balance out for the doing, and allow ourselves to pause. And one of the ways I've recently, sometimes I try to find, as a teacher, I try to find a way to explain why yin and why slowing down is so beneficial to our beings. Lately, I was thinking, you know, if you watch a movie in the double speed, you just put it 2 times and you watch the movie. That means you can be efficient in your movie watching and watch 2 movies instead of 1. But will you have really seen the movies? And the same applies to life. If we race and rush through life, we might not notice some of the most beautiful, subtle things that are happening while we're living. So slowing it down, like even if you would slow down a movie and you would pause at a certain frame, you would probably see things like, oh, there's a cat in the frame, or oh, look at that light that is coming in. Well, when things are just passing and speeding up, we don't notice those little subtle, beautiful things. So allowing ourselves to pause, to reflect, allows us to also see and feel more subtly into our own being. Let's sit still for another minute, just digesting those words, whatever they mean to you. And whenever your mind wanders, just come back to your breath. Use it as your anchor. A beautiful gesture is to bring the palms together in front of the heart, right, left, yin and yang. And maybe set an intention or dedicate this practice and this time on your mat to someone else. You know, in some religions, they pray for people. And I like to sometimes sit and just go, oh yeah, my parents, I hope they're well. Oh yeah, my friend in Sardinia, I hope she's well. And just go through that list. And you can do that throughout your practice. You don't necessarily need to pray for them, but just bring them into your mind's eye, into your heart. Community, connection, love is one of the most beautiful things that we have in our lives. And you can also do that. It's called the loved ones meditation. You can also do that with animals, activities, or even people that might have passed, but that were part of your life and that just bring a smile to your face. So your breath is there for you today, but also maybe that long list or group of people that are part of your reality, part of your life. And let's be grateful for them. Colleagues, friends, they bring so much color, challenges sometimes, but also so much color to our life. And let's bow our heads towards our fingertips to seal our intention in. And then you can bring your soles of your feet together. Maybe you stay seated on something, specifically if you feel quite rounded in your spine, or you just want to give yourself, giving yourself space is actually being extra kind to yourself. And we can never be kind enough. Take a deep breath in here, and then just fold over your legs. Giving your head something to rest on is always a nice idea, because your neck and your shoulder muscles carry the weight of your skull, the weight of your brain all day long. So letting it rest doesn't only let your muscles relax, it's also your organs inside the body. They go, okay, I'm supported here. I can soften. The first couple of moments of your shape, of your asana, you might still move a bit. And then once you have found your variation, you just commit to stillness. Now, with the theme or the intention of our loved ones, there is a side to that, which is the contrary, which is, in a way, what are you without all those roles that we play in each other's lives? What is the deep, deep core and deep source of your being when you strip all of that away? Wife, colleague, daughter, friends, teacher, students. They're words and labels that we give in order to create some structure, some clarity, some understanding. But what if you take all of that away? What remains? the unknown, the mystery. We get to a place where words start to become difficult. And that's okay. Not everything needs a label. So as much as it is a celebration of the loved ones, also acknowledge that there is something deeper, something higher when we take all of that away. When we take the identity, the roles, the ego away. Stay with your breath. Maybe swallow and then relax your mouth, your tongue. And a sigh. It's actually not dramatic. It's just you can feel it in the body. It's like a, okay, we're here. And letting go. Breathe. Be. Bless you. I'll let you know when it's time to move again. For now, just be still. Take a deep breath into the nose. And a nice sigh. And on the next inhale, you just slowly lift your chest up. Use your hands to close your legs. I hadn't done a hip opener like that for a while. I can feel it. Maybe remove your prop. And then just give your legs a little shake. Yes. Right leg comes in front. Left knee will be on your mat. Now, some of us have sensitive knees. So if you have a sensitive knee, you might want to put a pillow, or if you don't have a pillow, a very easy trick is to just fold your mat. So you've got a little bit of extra cushioning. You might need a prop here. Oh, that's nice, Margarita. Already getting into yawning. There's a big yawn here. Nice, into yawning mode. Wonderful. So make sure your left knee is comfortable and your right toes are pointing straight forward. Yeah, maybe make it halfway your mat there. Yeah. Then you've got some space for that right foot to come on. And then you can use a block in any height that works for you. working into the hips. Some people might want to put the elbows down onto the block. Just on the edge, yes. And then just ask your body. I find it easier to actually connect to the body and to the messages that my body is trying to give me when I close my eyes. Because there's messages from the outside, you know, when there's information, the light, even any sense, any light, any sound, it draws your attention. So when you just close your eyes, for me, it's easier to focus on the sensations on the body, of the body. And then I just ask myself like, hey, am I pushing it here? What is my body telling me? Like, okay, thank you, Joëlle. This is okay for now. I'm not saying that yin is always nice and warm, like a warm bath. It is challenging. This shape for me is challenging. I've been running a lot. So, you know, you can feel the body going like, "Ooh, hello, I need this." There's a bit of an edge. But is it breathable? Is it smileable? Are we not defeating the purpose by actually bringing tension into the body somewhere? And if that's the case, just back off. You're not getting bonus points for anything in particular. Breathe, soften. And you might notice that after a couple of breaths, your shape becomes a little bit more comfortable, or there's more space. I'd say there's more space. It might not necessarily mean it's more comfortable. It might actually become more challenging. And just stay with your breath. And it's a very philosophical question to question yourself, like, hey, what is left if I take all the layers of my being away, all the roles that I play? What is it? What is the source of your being? What remains? Stay with your breath. At any stage, if you feel that you might want to subtly change your position, whether that is backing out of it or making it more deeper, you can do that, but just kind of do that maybe once, not fiddling too much. Nice, looking good. Not sure about you, but I find this quite a challenging pose. Some are really comfortable and some are just a bit like, ooh, hello. But it also means that the body needs it, that there is in some way some resistance, some holding on. So breathe towards those spaces. And know that you can always move out. Breathe in the space that is needed in the body and the mind. And let go of any resistance. And notice your reaction when the edge presents itself. What is your tendency? Sometimes even you can observe your emotion. Do you feel frustrated when the edge arrives? Do you want to scream? Do you feel angry? It's quite interesting to see what triggers you and what kind of first reaction comes out. Around 4 or 5 more rounds of breath. I find that very good news. And slowly bring your hands back under your shoulders if they are down. Bring your hips a little backwards. You can straighten the front leg. Now bring your block or prop with you because you might need it behind you. I'm definitely not going to be on my mat, but I don't care. So you are going to check if all the 5 toes are on the floor. In a half hero's pose, so you bring your hand, your left hand to the calf. No, okay, this is where probably most people need a prop behind next to that heel to come and sit down onto your prop. Some of you might bring your knees a little closer to each other. Some of you might be able to come and sit down onto the floor. Some days that works for me, some days it doesn't. Today it does, but I know I've got a little injury on my right foot from trail running, so I'm not sure it will happen on the other side. So if you're on a block, you're not going to lie backwards because it's not so lekker for your lower back. If you're on the sit bones, you can put a prop behind you. Make sure both sit bones are. This you don't have to do immediately. Yeah? You've got like 5 minutes. So maybe you start here, you stay here for like 10 rounds of breath and just give that knee, give the front of the foot, give your hip flexors, the body a chance to digest, to admit. Is that okay? You just want to be on your mat. Good. So if you're on a block, you can opt to bring your fingers behind you and go for a little bit of a back bend, for a little bit of an opening through the heart. That's it, friend. Very nice. Option to come to the elbows, not if you're on a block, because then you might bring too much pressure into the lower back. Option to come onto your block, and then just watch what your head wants. Some people like to also put something under their heads so the neck is happy. And then close your eyes and breathe. If you're going to turn it around, I'm going to put the higher one under my heart and the lower one under my head. Take a deep breath in and a nice sigh out. I was reading a book yesterday. Which book was it? I don't remember what it was. There was something inside it. It was very interesting. How can I not remember? I started a new book. Well, it was about, you know, finding your dharma and finding your unique purpose in life. And as a mindful living person, you know, when we reflect and we think of things, it's like, okay, well, what is it? What is it that is important to me? What can I contribute to this world? It was so fascinating because the sentence said, pay attention to where your attention goes automatically. Like if you sit on the beach, observe your thoughts. And what are most of the thoughts about? Is it about animals? Is it about your body? Is it about friendship? Is it about what occupies your mind without you actually wanting to change it? And I thought it was fascinating because that means that there's a sense of subconscious, a topic in your subconscious that might have been hunting you or that might have been important to you your entire life. So you almost programmed your brain, your subconscious, to just think about that thing a lot. You're not even consciously doing that. And I thought, oh, that is very interesting because you have spent a lot of time analyzing it, thinking about it, you know, having an opinion about it, whatever it might be for you. And that could actually be exactly your soul's purpose. Thought it was very interesting. Sometimes we search too much, it's right there. something that is important to you will just be part of your consciousness a lot. And other people will have similar or maybe very different thoughts and purposes and things that they pay attention to. For example, you know, when you look at your body, your mind, your heart, that's just different ways of, let's say, putting words to the layers of your being. Some people are very occupied and spend a lot of time worrying about their bodies, how their bodies look, how they, you know, that's something that they've spent a lot of time on. Sometimes some people are more occupied with their intellect and the words and how they come across when they speak, or they're fascinated about other people being intelligent and having knowledge. They're not so much about the physical appearance, the physical layer of their being. They find that more interesting. It's, or the emotional world. You know, some people live a lot in the emotional world. I just thought it was so fascinating to question yourself where you spend most of your time. And that's where you're an expert, right? Take 3 more rounds of breath. Now, to come out of this safely, if you see that, so if you're lying down, you can even just roll onto the right side, or you can come back up and then just reverse where you came from. Go gentle, go gentle, go gentle. I was going actually quite fast there. And then let's just come into our tummy. So you might have to just unfold your mat. Quite a big stretch. Come onto your tummy. Lie flat and turn your toes out. This is a very different position for your knees. It's crocodile pose. And take a couple of moments to do some belly breathing. Notice what you feel around your hips, your SI joints. Let's call it your bum. Notice if your toes are active or if you can wiggle them and then just relax and soften them. And then deep belly breaths. So allow your belly to fill up with air. The side of your waist to fill up with air, the lower back to fill up with air, and then to just let it go. Full respiratory, deep breaths, diaphragmatical breathing. Does your left and your right foot feel different? Probably, because the one foot was in a very different position compared to the other. The knee might feel different. And sometimes when I do that loved one meditation, I get drawn. It's like my mom, it's my mom. And then I go to my friend and I think of my mom again. Or it's very interesting. And sometimes a random friend pops up in my consciousness. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't spoken to her for like so long. And it's nice to maybe even after class, just send them a message like, hey, I just thought of you. I always really like it when people send me a message like, hey, I'm here, I'm thinking of you. It's nice to be seen, to be recognized, to know that you have a special place in other people's hearts. And that's an exchange of energies. It's also lovely for them to know. Take 3 more rounds of breath here. And bring your hands next to your rib cage. Your toes can tuck. And then slowly come to a seated position. And come into a wide-legged position, seated. Wiggle your hips a little. Again, the same thing applies. If you feel very rounded, just sit on something. I'm going to mirror you. I'm going to bring my props to my right leg, but it will be your left leg. And then you can bend your right leg and bring it into almost like a tree position. And we're going to do a lateral stretch. So the first thing you can actually do is look at your right knee. So you feel that you are looking to the side, more over the right knee, and then walk your left hand on the inside of the leg. Now here you can put a prop underneath the arm, even on the leg. If you have a bolster, you can use a bolster. And then you can even support your head with your hand as a plateau. Still figuring out what is the nice height. Yeah, that feels good. Not sure, vertebrae. And then your right arm can either rest on your head, but your arm is quite heavy. Let it rest though. Check in with your neck. Check in with your neck. Another option here is to do a little bit of a bind. So your right hand in that case comes behind your back, maybe finds your t-shirt or your pants, maybe finds the inside of the thigh. Or last one is to bring a strap around your right foot. And then you can also do the same. That actually feels quite nice to me. Because you don't want to force anything. You don't want to force anything. The arm can also be on your head. Good. I always find it interesting when you start in a position, you notice your edge and you go like, okay, that's it, that's enough. And then you're there for a bit and you're like, oh, something has shifted, something has changed. Interesting. If your left wrist gets tired from holding onto your head, you can create a fist or even let the head hang, but I find it a little bit strenuous for the neck. Relax your right shoulder. And with every breath in, blossom the heart up. So there's a gentle slight twist up. Energetically more than really physically. The intention is there. So stripping away those layers, stripping away the layers of roles that we play, is coming back to the root of who you are. We often use an I am meditation or a mantra. Who are you? I am what? What am I when I'm not a wife, when I'm not a teacher, when I'm not a friend? Just be curious about the words that come up. Or maybe there is no words, maybe it's a feeling. My husband is actually quite good at that. He helps me sometimes when I'm in a situation and I might get upset or I'm emotional about something. He says, just look at it as a movie. Just look at it as if you're watching series, you know, you're looking through your eyes to the world. And specifically when it's people amongst each other, I mean, of course, we have a responsibility to also change things. Certain things are within our control, but many things are not. And when you notice that those things are out of your control, it is a bit of a waste to spend a lot of mental and emotional space, time on that situation. So then you can distance yourself from it to go, okay, you know what? Just watching a movie. I think it's quite a good way to just distance yourself and protect yourself and preserve your own energy for more or less toxic things when they are toxic. That's the work. A sense of self-mastery, I guess. Because the outer world will challenge us. We are all different. We do have different values and different conditioning and different upbringing. So we'll react differently. For the last bit, if you want to slide your block or prop just a little bit further towards the foot, just make sure your right sit bone, do so with that as minimal movement as possible. Make sure your right sit bone is on the floor. Stay with your breath and breathe towards that right side of the neck. One more deep breath in. And nice sigh out, release. Your right hand, if it's on top of your head, just let it fall down to the floor. And then peel yourself back, up and away. Sometimes when you move out, you actually realize like, I was almost stuck there. You can take your right foot. If you have that belt, keep it in your hand. If you don't have one, you might want to grab a belt. I can give you one here in Scarborough if you don't have one. And then come into a figure four. Now, figure four means that the ankle is above the knee. You come onto your back, roll onto your back, and bring the belt over the left foot. I'm going to change. No, I'm going to just, I'm going to change. Otherwise, I get confused. So your left leg is up, and your right foot is into a figure four. Nice. Now, sometimes we want to hold onto that belt really close to the foot, but then the shoulders lift up. Make sure that you choose the distance so the shoulders can actually rest into the floor. You want a belt there, friend? Nice purple one to match. We're all purple today. All our mats are purple. I'm going to close the door. I feel a bit chilly now. Do you want a belt, Margarita? You're good. That's better. Close your eyes and watch that movie. What movie? The movie of your inner world. What thoughts come up? What people come up? What fantasies come up? What worries come up? What is your subconscious busy with digesting? And to be honest, sometimes life is, actually in the business, they say business as usual. Things are just going, flowing, waking up, sleeping, and We're actually lucky when life is like that. It means no one's sick. There's no crises. And it's been nice, specifically now over the summer, to have a normal kind of, well, normal, you know, what's normal. But we've been through quite a bit of a crisis altogether. And to just feel that normality, that safety, the known. But on a micro level on your own life, yes, sometimes it's business as usual. And we can be grateful when things are just flowing. And then sometimes it's like you kind of project management, like, yeah, there's something happening, whether it is physical or on a relationship, a breakup, unhappy at work, you know. And those things are there for us to actually be courageous enough to make changes, to digest. And then we come to a, you know, it's like, I'm not a surfer, but I can compare it to catching a wave. You know, business as usual, like, okay, I'm catching a wave, I'm riding a wave. And the other situation is like, okay, I fell off my board. It's a bit of a washing machine, chaos situation. That's okay. We just swim back into the waves and try to catch the next one. Stay with your breath. Ooh, I've kind of underestimated the time here. No, we'll make it. We might be a couple of minutes late. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be fine. Take a deep breath in. We're going to take it easy or make it easy and just change your legs. So you're actually going to lift your right leg up, figure 4, and loop your belt. Oops. So, hello. Someone has an opinion. There's a lot of noise here. What do they call a guinea fowl, right? Isn't that a guinea fowl? Yeah, it's an angry guinea fowl. A very, very verbal guinea fowl. It's not the most charming sound I've ever heard. Breathe. We made it to our yin practice. Soften the skin on your face. The wind is back, guys. The energy of nature, very present here in Scarborough. We can compare, it's a mirror, it's a mirror. It's a reflection of the energy that exists. Sometimes our life in our mental world is like a storm, and sometimes it's like a peaceful, graceful sunset, warm and cozy, and that is fine. And the yin practice is beautiful to kind of take a moment of pause to start to digest the week. But can we bring maybe moments of yin into our day-to-day routine? Only 5 minutes, literally waking up, and rather than going straight onto the phone, rush, 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 try to sit still for 5 minutes in the morning before your day starts. Just sit on the floor, close your eyes. or on a pillow or even on your sofa, and you just sit still for 5 minutes and breathe. Set a timer and then start your day. And it will be different. It's incredibly powerful. Same for the night. If you have an opportunity to just kind of close your day before entering the reality of dreams and sleep, and just take 5 minutes to sit, or 10, and breathe, you'll notice a difference. Take 3 more rounds of breath here. And then let go. Hug your knees into chest for a moment. Roll onto your sides. And come back up to a seated position with the legs wide. And we'll do the other sides. If you want to sit on something, sit on something. Maybe remove some flesh from your sit bones. Create your prop. Now, might not be the same on this side. Actually, I'm going to go back a little bit. Create the right height, the right distance. Oh, yeah, sorry, we need to bend the knee. You're bending your left leg. Thank you. Someone's still awake. Semi-awake. So bend your left leg. Arm can rest on your head. I remember now what I did. I did a little bounce. But it might be different on this side. You might have more space. The right side is your ascending column, as they call it in the energetical way, or even your digestive way. The organs on the right and the left side of your body, inside your chest and inside your tummy, are not the same. You only have one liver. Okay, 2 kidneys, 1 spleen, and they work for you. And some have a sensitive liver. So that will, inside the body, potentially create, you know, if the liver is under stress, can you imagine it's a bit cramped up? You might not feel it, but let's say, you know, you can feel a sore muscle. We don't feel a sore organ, but they might be under pressure, which then around the organ creates a bit of tension, which then around that pulls the fascia, which then on the outer layer pulls the muscles, which then even on the long term can even have an impact on your posture. So accepting the fact that we're not 100% symmetrical, that things might feel different to one side of the other, is fascinating and allows you to also just accept yourself as you are. You might have had injuries in the past, broken arms, legs, scars, or even emotional scars. We hold on to those as well. People that are insecure. In Holland, we have a lot of tall people, and they kind of round forward. They don't want to be too tall. They don't want to be too seen. Or if their heart has been hurt, you know, you kind of start rounding forward. If you do that for a long time, your fascia starts to change. Hairdressers that do things asymmetrical also start to have certain patterns in their movement. It's super fascinating. Breathe. Soften the jaw, the neck, the shoulder. 3, 4 more rounds of breath here. And then slowly come up. Oy, oy, oy. Interesting. When you get into this one, you're like, oh, easy. And then when you come out of it, you're like, yo, hello, hello. Okay, let's come back onto our knees. We still have 2 shapes to go. So we have our left foot in front. Fold your mat double-footed right knee if that feels more comfortable. Bring your left foot forwards. That's it. And you might actually start higher. That's totally fine. It's good actually to just go, okay, let me close my eyes and check in with this variation of this shape on this side. And then take a couple of breaths and go like, I'm happy here. Or, hey, maybe go a little bit lower, or elbows, or take your time. You okay there? Nice. Maybe place that block a little higher, friend. So the neck is in line. Yes. How does that feel? Yeah, it looks much better. Good. All good, Emma? All good, Emma? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right. Big thumb up. I like it. And a smile. Wonderful. Even the concept of forcing ourselves into positions, it's so natural to us to want to do more, deeper. Yeah. Hi, Emma. We've had that discussion. I mean, it's been a couple of years now that we're practicing online. The less is more. The less is more. Often less is more, specifically in yin. But it's difficult because from the moment we're born, it's like ambition, performance, more. Is that really the way we want to live our lives? Or can we come to a place of like, yeah, it's nice to have ambitions, but contentment, it's okay. And sometimes wait for things to just happen, a bit of surrender into the magic of life. Letting yourself be carried rather than forcing things, having to control everything. And with this yin practice as well, that listening to your body, to the edge, and then deciding to stay, to back off, to go deeper, whatever you decide, that's a practice on its own. You're having a conversation with your body, with your mind. And that happens all the time. And I find it very powerful to actually go, you know what? No, this is not serving me. Whatever it might be, everybody has the right. Some people like to party until 3. Some people like to go to bed at 10. I'm just giving silly examples, but it's your life. And listening to that body, even when you're like, I feel a little tired, I might be getting sick. You can catch these things before they happen if you learn to listen. But if we ignore that inner voice, the messages, yeah, we might not catch things on time. Sorry guys, we'll finish class a little bit after 6 because we still have our heroes pose on this side to go. Let's take a couple more rounds of breath here. All right, yogis, hands under your shoulders. Straighten your left leg. Start to walk backwards. I like to slide it also a little bit closer. Right hand finds that calf. If you use the block, well, of course, obviously, the right and the left side, the chances of it being similar, you know, of people that have tight hips will come across similar challenges on both sides. I'm going to unfold my mats. There you go. Both sit bones. We might sit here and lift our hearts. Oh, I'm happy it's working. I had a little sprain on my right ankle on the mountain. It's part of it, I guess. And this was impossible 3 days ago, and now I'm fine. Ice, huh? Ice helps. My coach was ice. And then I've got a friend that is a physio. Send a picture and he immediately know exactly which muscle and, you know. It's like ice, but 20 minutes apparently, not longer than 20 minutes. But you can do 20 minutes and then stop for a bit and then again 20 minutes, even the day after. It's quite interesting. It really, really helps. And then I put 17th of March. Yeah, it's happening. And then at night, I just put tiger balm and slept with socks on, which also helps. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I won't have an opportunity in Bali to run mountains, but the humidity will be very high there. Because I started training there and my heart rate was like the way it was. And then I came here, I was like, I can't get my heart rate up, but it had to do with the humidity there. And apparently it's quite good to train in humidity because it's actually extra challenging. So when you come here, it will feel hopefully relatively easy. We'll see. We'll see. We'll be hot as well in March anyway. In Elgin, close to Elgin. Yeah. Oh wait, I forgot my lying back situation here. Last couple of minutes before we rest in pentacle or called Shavasana. Maybe close your eyes. Yes, it's interesting. Talking is so beautiful. It's connecting, but it draws you also out of that, hey, within that space within yourself. Notice your breath. And that place within is beautiful. Soften your jaw. Bit of space between the top lip, the bottom lip, the tongue relaxed. I'm grateful for yin in my life. Grateful for yoga. To have the tools and the practices to reconnect, to analyze, to question, to feel, to learn how to live. The yoga practice is a practice of living, of getting to know yourself. And from that place, to respond rather than to react. All these subtle things that make such a big difference. Let's walk our hands. If you're lying down, come back up and then walk your hands over to the left. So you release that leg. Ooh. Bring it over to the front. Maybe wiggle your toes a little. You okay there? Yeah, it's quite a strong one, hey? And then shuffle your hips forward and lie all the way back into your last resting shape here. Take a deep breath into the nose. And a nice sigh out of the mouth. If you're at home and you're in a nice space and you're like, oh, no, I don't want to get up yet. I don't want to share my energy with the outer world yet. Just stay. You know, you're at home, you can meditate, journal, whatever serves you to stay in this precious energy. And here in Scots, we can start to just stretch our arms overhead. Oh, nice big yawn. Waking up the body a little bit more active, but we can linger in that softer recovery, sleepy kind of resting mode. Hug your knees into chest. Hopefully feel a little bit of space in the body as if you've oiled your joints. And then roll onto a side. Take your time. A little yawn might come. It is always nice. And then slowly come up into a seated position. Energy. I think what's one of the things that electricity we understand is energy, but also our own energy, starting to know our own energy, starting to recognize different energies inside yourself, the yin and the yang, the doing and the being, and that it's accessible to us to find grounding, to find softness, to be able to speak and act from a calm, connected place. Maybe not all the time, but we can, through our yin practice and through our breath and through that connection, refine that place. Thank you so much for being here. From my heart to yours. Namaste. Sorry for being a little bit late.
Thanks, Joëlle.
Pleasure.
Everyone, have a good evening.